Welcome back. Obviously, the snow accumulations have gotten the headlines, but as our meteorological team has pointed out here, the winds are supposed to really pick up 30, 40, 50 miles per hour, even more in certain places. But thankfully, they have not materialized, combining those two into major outages to this point. Let's find out if it's forecast to be a bigger problem throughout the night and into tomorrow. And for that, let's bring in Sydney Alvarez, who is with Con Edison right now, and he's kind enough to join us on the line. Sydney, our meteorologist told us before that thankfully this is more of a lighter snow, not a heavy wet snow. What are you guys kind of projecting here from tonight going into tomorrow in terms of outages as a consequence?
Sure, yes. Thank you for having us. And
Sure.
You're absolutely correct. The type of snow makes a significant difference. When you have the powdery type of snow, very fluffy, it's actually a very good thing. What impacts our system is the wet, heavy type of snow, especially when it comes to areas such as Westchester County, where you have a lot of vegetation, a lot of trees out there. The heavy snow can cause the branches to break and fall on our lines, and that can cause the outages. And now in the city, we look at different factors. For example, we have a lot of underground wiring and systems in the city. When the snow starts to melt and you incorporate the salt that is used to treat the roads, that creates a very interesting component for our system, and that's when you can see some outages in that perspective.
Sydney, I don't want to get too far ahead of us because we're only at the beginning of this, and in a minute we'll also be hearing from a spokesperson for the MTA. But it seems to me, for example, I saw a lot more tree trimming going on a couple days ago and even yesterday than maybe I have in prior storms in the run-up to it. Was there a lot of top-down look post-Sandy as to what to do in the next storm?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We have a very aggressive tree trimming program. We work heavily with our local municipalities, and we've learned from Hurricane Sandy, and it's pretty much part of our investment into fortifying our system. So the tree trimming is definitely part of that, and it definitely helps. We've already seen that with some previous storms that took place in 2014. We had less outages, and we're really very confident with this particular storm system that's coming in, and very minor outages.
Finally, Sydney, tell people at home, if they're a Con Ed customer, where, if they have a problem, who they should reach out to, and also, if there is a particular portion of your coverage area, what are you most concerned about geographically, given the forecast of the storm?
At this point, we are very concerned with the Westchester region just because of the wind gusts that might pick up and cause those branches to come down. And really importantly, we want to stress, to all of our customers and the general public that if you see downed lines, please stay away from them. Contact your local authorities, 911, or here with Con Edison so that we can get out there immediately. And if you happen to experience some sort of power outage, I do like to tell customers, turn off some of the major appliances or any lights that you may actually have, because when the power does eventually come back on, there could be a surge of energy, and you don't want to, have anything happen to those appliances.
All right, good enough. I wish you the best of luck, Sydney. I know you got a long couple days ahead of you, but I appreciate the time. Thank you. And a reminder, everyone, we're going to have all this information. If you're a Verizon Fios One customer here, you go to our websites. We'll have that. In addition, you'll also see throughout the ticker at the bottom both accumulation totals, weather information, and in addition to that, all the trouble numbers that'll be helpful for you. So please use those as resources. All right, now let's go to the transportation side. Marjorie Anders is kind enough to join us. She's with the MTA, and Marjorie, thank you. I was just talking to the folks over at Con Ed, and they mentioned that post-Sandy, they really did a review and were more proactive this time around. Can I read the same thing into it, that this hard closure of roads at a certain time, that was lessons learned from previous storms where people might not have taken it as seriously as maybe they were asked?
Well, I'm calling about the trains, and actually I think it's a good idea to shut the roads down. It's it's a good idea to shut the trains down. It allows us to protect our equipment, and it prevents people from getting stranded out there when the storm really gets heavy. So right now we are in the process of sending our last trains out on all 3 lines and on the west of Hudson as well. So we would urge people to go ahead and get home, whether your home is in New York or whether it's out in the suburbs. We have plenty of trains that can get you there, but time is running out.
Yeah, and I apologize if I said roads, I meant rails. But 11 o'clock, as you said, the key time period here. And then tell everyone in terms of tomorrow, the schedules that you plan to be operating on and when you hope to return to a regular weekday schedule.
I hate to say this, but it's really too early to say. We don't know exactly when the snow is going to stop, and we are not going to send our employees out into blizzard conditions. We have to wait until the storm subsides, and then we have a big cleanup job to do. As soon as we can possibly do so, we will be sending our snowplow trains, our patrol trains out. We'll be able to clear the track, clear the platforms, move our employees around as needed, and just generally get to work cleaning up. So that has to happen well before we can announce a resumption of service.
And in the overnight tonight, Marjorie, is there going to be cleanup right now, or is this primarily just precaution to get a head start on it tomorrow?
It's pretty much in a cautionary mode. We're going to park quite a few trains inside Grand Central Terminal to protect them from the snow. And I think we have room for about 160 rail cars, and so that process has begun. And we're going to put all of the equipment that we can inside of our various shops around the territory to protect it, and then it's really just a waiting game.
Fair enough. And as always, if people want more information on availability, they can just check out your website. And I appreciate the time this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, let's head out back to New Jersey right now. Kimberly Wallace, she joins us, and she's in Monmouth County. Kimberly?
Well, Rich, as you were just talking about transportation power outages, all major concerns here in Monmouth County, where they are expecting up to 3 feet of snow. Now, we're here at the Monmouth County Public Safety Center, where Lieutenant Governor Kim Godano was just here touring the center, taking a look at some of the emergency vehicles that are ready to be deployed as needed. She also went inside to the 911 call center, where they are expected to have a high number of volumes. They have more staff than usual on hand, but she also had some advice for residents to keep those calls at a minimum.
Because we need to follow the advice of the governor. If you get off the roads, the people in this building will be safer also. They won't have to go out and help people. They won't have to clear roads. They won't be as difficult to clear those roads. So if you really want to help the people that wear uniforms every day and the first responders who come out here day and night, if you really want to help them, and by the way, their families, then you'll get off the road.
And of course, in this area, the Monmouth County Sheriff Sean Golden is concerned about coastal flooding as well as those power outages. On top of all that, this 3 feet of snow. And as for the coastal flooding, he says high tide is early in the morning hours, so hopefully most people will be asleep, he said, but of course they will be monitoring the water levels and will be on top of that. That's latest live from Freehold. Kimberly Wallace for FiOS 1 News. Rich?
Thank you very much, Kimberly. And as Kimberly just referenced there, some of the coastal flooding here on parts of Long Island and New Jersey, that's going to be a concern. We'll get into that and much more when, on the other side of the break here, we'll get a check of the forecast and the trend as to this still developing blizzard. We'll be right back with much more special weather coverage right here.